Okay. Yeah. So up to Yud Gimel.
Yes.
Okay. We're we're in the psicha of doing mitzvahs asay. B'chol should dibana ata who are feeling musaper dvar emes al chaver. Is that's all? Everything we've said now, this whole list of mitzvahs asays that you transgress, is true. Even if you're saying emes. אבל בתוך הלשון או הרכילס שלו נסערב however shel sheker b'miktzasai, if there's a mixture in your lashon rechilas of some sheker, or v'gam ki ha-mitzvah say shekasov b'Torah midvar sheker tirchak, right? Famous mitzvah. V'gam nishtana shmoy l'fkamay dezeh, and now you've been degraded, and now you're referred to as now you've changed your status a step lower to Moitzi Shemra. And the punishment was much more severe. If one can understand, because not only are you saying, so to speak, Lashon Hara, but you're making it up. And that's obviously a worse thing to do. And now you're Darlin. Further, say there's a mitzvah that go in Hashem's ways. You should follow Hashem's midos. That they're all good. Any good midah that there is, right? You're fulfilling the mitzvah of alachta b'drocha. We find amongst right, but the way Hashem reveals Himself to us in this world, between His midas, we find de lo Torah b'chol afanim. I feel ish garuad moed that he hates Lashon Hara in any aspect, even on a very bad person. As the Gemara tells us, Moshe Rabbeinu, I think, asked Hashem to reveal who was it by Ochan. Ochan took from the Kerem, Shechem, when they came into Eretz Yisrael. Klal Yisrael lost the war because of that. And Hashem revealed it's because someone broke the cherem. Hashem said, Moshe said, like, if I remember correctly, who is it? Hashem says, what? Do I speak Lashon Hara? Right? Even though he was talking about someone who had done Averis. So we see that HaKadosh Baruch Hu won't speak Lashon Hara. But Tzayfer LaTova, Vein Tzayfer LaRa, Hashem looks for good, doesn't look for bad. As in Tana B'Eliyahu, Va'amru, the Gemara in Saita says, Abba Kites and the Kalus B'nei Ashchina. There are four groups of people that don't merit to be Mekabel, the B'nei Ashchina, and one of them is Kat Mesakre Lashon Hara. Tichsiv, as the Pasuk in Tehillim says, Kilekel Chofetz Resha Ota. You're not you're not a God who desires Resha, Le'yigurcha Ra, and Ra doesn't dwell amongst you, and Ra is referring to Lashon Hara. V'im kain misha margalat from b'dara, so someone who accustoms himself to this bad midah Lashon Hara. In a hoylach b'dach Hashem, he's not going in Hashem's ways. Shurak laheti v'zos, Hashem's ways is only to do good to the other. V'oisel hafka, and he's doing the opposite. V'mibnei zek, hakasav b'shem Ra, and therefore he's referred to as Ra. L'chein oiva mitzvah say gam. So therefore, you're also over on the mitzvah saseh of Valachta B'Dracha. Harry. So he sums up, Shechasham, the Yudal mitzvah says, we've listed off 14 mitzvahs saseh, Shurigim Avar Aleim, that's common to transgress them. Al Yedei Sipur, Lashon Hara Rechilas, by speaking Lashon Rechilas Levad. Besides the Yudayin Lavin are now the 17 mitzvahs Los sasehs that we mentioned above. The Af Shikola Yudayin Lavin viewed that Esin and Yochel over B'Yishachar B'Sipur Echad. Chavetz Chaim does say it's true. You can't be over all 17 also essays and 14 essays in one time about one person. There was one that was about Kibbutz Avnei, telling about your father. Right? That sounds like Kohanim. Right? You can't do them all in one shot. It's true, he says. Kimavor Lamayan, as is clear to someone who studies the list, Afapikain, still he says, Misha Rogo Chas V'Shalom, B'midrazo, someone who is accustomed to speak Lashon Hara, B'vadi Yavot Kulam B'Herchos Van, just give him some time and he'll transgress all of them. Kipami Yarelo Dav Lashon Hazaken. Sometimes we'll be speaking about Hazaken. Sometimes say it in front of the person. So you will ultimately transgress all of them with time. Let's just do this. Start the next thing. Arurim. Then there are So now we'll also explain what we said at the beginning of the psicha. We said we will speak about it. Kama arurim and kavlatzma. How many curses do you accept upon yourselves? If someone does not watch himself from this midah, this evil, this bad midah. So number one is avad kol alav invest and now oiva al oro makaber b'sosa. First is the one who hits the fellow Jew in a hidden way. Shu koya lashon hara, which refers to speaking lashon hara. You speak lashon hara about someone behind his back. It's an hidden, and you're hitting him. Rashi brings it. It's the medrash. That aura is referring to speaking lashon hara. Number two, based over gamkein al aura mashke iver baderech. You cause blind person to go off the way. They do a kavanas hakos of laorer that we know that the pshat of the pasuk is amichanes and michshov me'achas yasal yod iser. If you put a stumbling block, you cause another Jew to do an aver dumi the lav similar to what's included in the lav of lifnei iver l'site michshov. Babianu there b'lav noistalid shugam came because there we already said that you transgress lifnei iver. Okay, it could be. It's if you listen to the Lashon Hara, so you're allowing him to speak Lashon Hara. If you speak to Lashon Hara, you're causing him to be around Kabbalah's Lashon Hara. Chavetz Chaim did say there that it could be, if you're amongst a lot of people, that he would speak Lashon Hara anyways, even if you stepped away. So maybe you're not over the listener. Maybe he's not over on the Fnei Ivra, because he would do it anyways. But in any case, when you do speak Lashon Hara, many times you will be included in the order that's said on this Easter. And number three, if speaking Lashon Hara becomes hefker, means it's not, you don't feel the Easter, you don't feel obligated to the Easter. On a third one, Cursed is the one who doesn't uphold these words of the Torah to do them. What does that mean? There's a concept you have to be makabel. It may be sometimes that you find difficulty to keep something, but you makabel it. You know it's also, and it's on your what's the expression?
Radar.
It's on your radar. You slip, okay? You slip, right? But someone who disavera, it's like, oh, it's nothing. So then he's over on, and that's true for any avera. Nikra mumar. There's any mitzvah that a person, that doesn't talk to me. That's not for me. That was not applicable anymore. Whatever, everybody does it. So you have a din of a mumar l'tava echad bezer kevin to be short nefesh, since freely oival Yisrael hachamar zeh v'machzik tov zeh sh'toras Hashem etzol. And he feels that the words of Hashem is after you can do what you want. So we've listed three, and then in parentheses, Pastor Shalom, you spoke about your parents. There's a fourth. The Gemara in Shavuos is known, the Over boy, Klola boy, Nidu boy, like it's a package of bad things. So if you know that you in the past were not careful of this, you have to be fearful. They put you in excommunication. It came much because of Sefer Charedim. Okay, let's do the Shmir Salosha now. No, let's finish. Let's finish the Psicha. He says there are many other things that are caused by this very, what he calls it, bitter Avera. He causes you to be cruel. You can make fun of someone. You could speak bad about someone. You don't not sensitive that you're hurting somebody. Umidas hakas, could bring you to anger. Shu oven chomer k'mashafligu chazal b'Shabbos. Began kama pamim by days eleleitzonus. Could bring you to leitzonus. Shami das rois kiritzaben alkein. Alkein akol direi hapsich hazois. That's an expression borrowed from Megillah Esther. Right, so all of these words that are psicha, shrimena nuchal haven is gerda, hakil kal bay de loshen harachilas, that we should be able to understand before we start learning the actual halachas. We should be able to understand tremendous destruction that comes to this avera, the erelon or Torah and that's why the Torah chose to write explicitly because Allah lav yuchad. There's many bad meters. He said, you don't find a specific lav on it, and here you do. He says, because once we understand what's on the table there, what's included in this, we can understand why the Torah wanted to stop us from doing this action. And with this, we complete the psicha. A request, he says, review it, read it and review it. He says, certainly it's a powerful tool, more helpful than other things for the future. This is an interesting thing. I gathered these words from the words of Risham Shadivim, Kedoshim, and Tahirim, that their words are holy and Torah. They're fire. And they certainly kept themselves away from this Avera to the full extent. And therefore they ran he says the words have a power. It was written by people who are Kedoshim v'Tahirim, who are extremely careful about this, and therefore just reading the words impacts a person. You should know, he says, I didn't just, do a general search for Lavin and Essen. He said, I worked hard. I went through the Taig Mitzvahs. A lot of effort put in. Until I was able to make this list that applies to our topic. And in order that you shouldn't be surprised, if this is such a terrible avera, and speaking that hurtful speech. So you're going to say, whoa, but I learned in Gemara, and I saw a case where one Amira put down another Amira. He says, I addressed it. At the end of Sefer Chavetz Chaim, he published a tshuva from the Chavetz Yor that discusses those Gemaras. And this is many other statements of Gemara I myself explained in the Sefer Chafetz Chaim, Zer Sham, a little bit here, a little bit there. As you go through the Sefer, you'll see that he addressed it. It could be a lot of it's in the Bear Mind claim that we're not really learning straight. Okay. Mitzvah Hashem, we'll start the halachas now, tomorrow, Sunday. Okay, now we're Shmir Salashim Shaz Chira Perik Dalid. He was drawing the parallel of Chazal, of a Kelev Shaita, and someone who speaks Lashon Hara. We're in the middle of a big paragraph, right?
Yeah.
Tishrei, and we got up to the guy Kai Gavna, I think. Is that right? I don't think we finished the paragraph. You know which paragraph I'm referring to?
Yeah, it's the
Chav Gimel Tishrei.
Chav Gimel Tishrei.
I would say like 2/3 of the way in.
Right, we had just turned my page.
Okay, what does your page say? On the top, or whatever.
Yeah, Hasakanus Machmas Haruach Ra Ashara Alav Ukamosha Amru Sham.
Okay, 1 minute. Hey, Mama Shubal Lashon Hara. Kalela Pulis Isa Ruach Ra Hashara Alav. Is that it, or Hey, Mama Shubal Lashon Hara? B'mat Shuchoyker Tamid Acha Nasa B'Bata Yir. You have that?
No. What's something in parentheses, like a Gemara that it's quoting, or a pasuk, or a?
I have over here in brackets Kaperis Rashi B'Pashas Kedoshim. I'd say it's about 25 lines from the end of the paragraph, something like that.
All right. There's Baba Kama.
I don't see Baba Kama. Yeah, no, but after that, quite a bit. Go another 10, 15 lines at least.
Oh, Parshas Kedoshim. Yeah, Rashi.
Okay. Once it becomes known that this person, people pick up on it after all, that this is a guy you got to stay away from because he's a Baal Lashon Hara. He becomes a person that's like a thorn in the eyes of the people of the city because they know you got to be careful what you say around him. He's fishing. Everyone stays away from him. So like the dog, he starts like not being visible. He hangs out on the side. As if he's not listening, as if he's not interested. However, but it's in order that he could pick up, all the news. And the same thing is when he speaks the Lashon Hara. He'll do it in a sneaky way. He does it in a sneaky way. That it would seem he's not trying to say bad mouth anybody. It's just talking to Tuma. He's talking a story that he heard. Well, he doesn't say the whole story. Rak Mirames, he just hints to certain things. No one can put their finger on to prove that he's guilty of lashon hara if it's intentionally. He makes it sound like a very light story, right? There's a Yovan Chavir Hashar, and the one listening will already be able to put the rest of the puzzle together. So that's how he's comparable to the Kelev Shaita who walks on the sides of the streets, not in the front. So people shouldn't notice him. V'oznav sruchais, whose lover menach ben yorei choisav, and what they described, the Kelev Shaita, that his ears are hanging low and it doesn't wag his tail, it's hanging also. Same thing is true that what we said about the dog. Says even though in the person he's very alert, right? All senses are on call to pick up the news. Specifically, his ears, his sense of hearing. The Shema Mikol Dova Anasa Be'ir. To hear everything, that's pick up all the news, and then spread it. Yet the Pearson outwardly, what he's showing, as if no, everything is like asleep. And he's easy going with everyone. And he's not interested in hearing what's doing amongst people. And it's also people shouldn't be careful from him. And this way he could pick up everything. The Gemara said there was a Yeshayim that added the dog. You can see it's barking, but you don't hear the sound. Because with his lashon mazika v'seisa, he's hurting the person in a hidden way. Paskvilin are like the things that they print up flyers and things like that.
The setloff that they put up
on the walls, yeah. Shaleim Nemar Ora Makreo Baseser, as we learned just before. And it's all these actions is so that others can't protect themselves from him. And then he'll be able to hurt them as that dog. Therefore, that Ruach Tumah, that the Gemara describes on the Kelev Shaita comes upon him. And the Sifri compares him to someone who was bitten by the dog. Person who's bitten by the Kelev Shaita, so that by him being bitten, that Ruach Ra comes upon him, and the Baal Lashon Hara has that same Ruach Ra. Seif Hamamra Mavor Me'atzmer Vayin V'Seif Perik Tezayin. Okay, this is look clear. The rest of the Chazal there says it's clear. Umali laharich. Oy b'gdulas avoyin hamarzeh. Says the Chavetz Chaim. So I've spoken enough. If you didn't get the message yet, then it's not going to work. After Chazal said that it's as if he's someone who would consider he was over on the whole Torah, and he's a kofer beaker, chas v'shalom, shezel lashon hamedrash rabbah. Right? He says, what? There's nothing more to say after what Chazal describe him as someone who's over on chamisha chumshei Torah, and he's like a kofer beaker. Says the Medrash Rabbah, Omer B'Shuv Levi, Chamesh Torahs Ksuvos B'Parsha, Zois Torahs Nega Tzoras, Zois HaTorah L'Chol Nega HaTzoras, Zois Tia Torahs HaMetzora, Zois Torahs HaShavoi Nega Tzoras, Zois Torahs HaTzoras, 5 times Torah. Hamoichi Shemra, L'Lam Dacho, Shekoloim HaLoshon Hara, Oiv Al-Chamisha Sifrei Torah V'Chu. So, Medrash Meforsh of Shua ben Levi. From Chazal Ba'erichin, Amr B'Yechem Shmuel Yosef ben Zimra Kolam Sapel Asher Kilu Kaifer Be'ikar. Shenema Asher Amru Lulu Shenenu Nagmis of Sosenu Itanu Mi Odin Lanu. We have no master. Right? Someone who uses his mouth. And he says, Mi Odin Lanu. So he's Kaifer Be'ikar V'Hatam. As it says in the Sefer Yereim, Ki Yadu Shemish writes the Dabba Lashon Hara. A person who wishes to speak Lashon Hara mistaka b'chol tzedakah. He looks around to make sure coast is clear. Maybe the person he's going to speak about is there. So he's acting as if there's nobody above watching and hearing. Right? He looks around, the coast is clear, and then he speaks, and as if there's no Hashem also here. Chas v'shalom. When Shem Chazal b'Ganav, when it says about Ganav, the Ganav, difference in Ganav and a Gazlan. Ganav does it hiddenly. The Gazlan holds you up. But a Ganav is showing that he's afraid of people, but he's not afraid of Hashem. Shein Adam Maitir Mipiv Achi Pefer Beikar Shenemar, and it brings the pasuk. I don't know what the pasuk is. Alkain. Therefore, mi sheyesh lemach b'kod kodesh. Anybody who has any brains. Yira Tomi Lazois Atzmai. So make sure to strengthen himself. Eluchem Mechemes Hashem in Mitzrayim, and to battle. It's called the Mechemes Hashem with his Yetzer. So you lock it. You shouldn't be trapped. This bitter, great Avera. And then, if he does the battle, and sometimes he could lose, that's okay, but you're battling it. It's on your radar screen, like you said. You considered Ashrei. Okay. Here's a good place to stop. There is such a thing.